All right.
Let's do this.
You want to give me your checklist?
Yeah. Did you limber up?
Yeah, I'm good now.
This is. Yeah, you got that pillow behind the back. Make sure you got proper spinal alignment. You don't want to get spinal tapped. That's how they get you.
True.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing laundry right now?
No laundry. AC's on.
You doing laundry?
It's hot as fuck.
The AC's on?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck did I tell you about the goddamn AC? That shit is loud as fuck.
You can hear it?
Hit him with that. No, it was just fuck you, man. Like,
That was a fuck you. Heard. I hope you don't hear the AC. It's hot as shit. We just have to compromise today.
it's okay. There's a car alarm going off.
That's in your house.
Yeah, that shit is definitely very loud.
All right.
It's background noise. Fuck it.
Terrible. Welcome to Brothers Sip.
Oh yeah.
We talk shit where we discuss all things horror and foreign films. That is. I'm T, and I am season 2 of this Tales from the Crypt binge, and I wish I could find the Tales from the Crypt Reaper cartoon.
I'm sorry that car alarm is just bothering the hell out of me. I'm like gonna become a Russian sleeper agent. Okay, we're good now. It turned off. Okay. I was about to snap. Just like
Terrible.
just walked directly out of that door. Like, where's he going? What's going on is V, and I'd say that though I'm finding out I've seen more horror films than I've ever seen, like slowly but surely, I would say that the one horrific moment that changed my life was How to Serve Humans.
Oh yeah, that is a classic Twilight.
And if you know what that means, if you know, you know. Okay, if you know what that means.
Heard. So
That changed me, man.
all right, film we got today is actually an alternate. We had to pull up a red shirt.
Yeah, we do have to. I'll take the blame here. Can I take the blame?
Go ahead, knock yourself out. It's all you.
So I got a little ahead of myself and picked the most difficult find Bollywood films, even though they're gems. I've been told they're gems, and due to time constraints, these are also like 3-hour long epics. I don't even want to say they're like films, they're like epics. So we had to do a quick audible due to time constraints and due to I couldn't find a good link with subtitles. Though how much fun it would be to watch no subtitles and still give you guys a review. I figure we'll take some time and do that later. My challenge to you, T, is you got to find a horror musical to pair with these Bollywood films.
You said a horror musical, and I've got like we could go Repo, we could go Rocky Horror Picture Show. One. Well, like no, there's like
actually,
3.
Rocky Horror would be good. I haven't really sat down and watched that. I think I've only seen clips of that one.
Rocky Horror Picture Show or Repo the what is it called the or something like that.
In a moment of panic yesterday when I realized like I went to go watch this Bollywood film, I couldn't find it. I was frustrated, and then I just like top 30 films available to stream. Yeah, I was that guy. Foreign films, where is it at? And the Netflix list was garbage. Yeah, shots fired at Netflix. Your fucking foreign film selection is garbage, bro. Like, do some shit. It's just fucking trash.
Use a VPN to switch countries, but I'm not saying.
Yes, that's probably a great way to. That is the way to do it. So then I was like, let me go check out Prime, because Prime had He Loves Me, He Loves Me Not. So I'm like, oh, maybe they got a little bit more of a key for it. And lo and behold, after a few lists, I found us what I found, I think, ended up being a pretty good pick for figuring it out in 20 minutes. It ended up being a film called Adam's Apple. Did I flip it up? Yeah, Adam's Apple.
Apples.
Which is Apples, sorry. Adam's Apples, and this is a Dutch film.
Yep.
You should do this intro because you like know the statistics more, and then I come in with like my tomfoolery afterwards.
So before we continue, what are you sipping on?
I am doing a LA Blonde beer. Just kind of how I liked my women 10 years ago.
Well, I'm still back with this Campo Viejo Rioja because I still got enough to finish this bottle of Tempranillo, so I'm in it to win it.
Well, yeah. And again, this brewery always reminds me of the Arts District bar crawls, a little bit of arcade games. Grab yourself some Worst Switch. I'm doing a lot of name dropping. I don't care. Ain't nobody paying me. But it's a good time. Let me know if you ever want a bar crawl, yo. I know the spots.
Church, Tabernacle. The director is Anders Thomas Jensen. A couple of notable films is The Green Butchers, Men and Chicken, and In a Better World, none of which I've heard from, and I've never really looked at Dutch films, so that's kind of different. One of the main actors in it, though, is, I'm going to say this right, Mads Mikkelsen, who is Hannibal in the TV series. He's also the main bad guy in Doctor Strange. He's in Death Stranding. He's in La Chiffre in 007, and he was in Rogue One too, and he was a badass in Star Wars Rogue One. So,
that's what drew me to this film, was that actor. I was like, oh, I never seen him speak Dutch. Let's go see what he's about.
He's speaking his home language at that point. He's most notable, I believe, for Hannibal right now. Hannibal and Rogue One seems to
I loved him as a Bond villain, though.
Well,
that's Casino Royale, right?
Well, yeah, Casino Royale and Spectre. I think he was in both of them.
Yeah, he made a quick, but Casino Royale, he was a primo Bond villain.
So he plays a pretty good range as far as that goes. In this, though, he was in a sweater vest, polo shorts, and Birkenstocks. That's a completely different character already. I just have to say, like, that outfit alone should tell you what kind of character it was. But I'll let you describe the film. Go ahead.
So that was the preface of like where it came from. I picked the film because of two reasons. A, I saw that actor and I was like, oh, I've never seen anything else he was in. He always plays these villains and plays pretty good villains. And I think number two was the description. It had I'm a sucker for it. It has a neo-Nazi in there, and I was like, let's see what happens, because American History X scarred me so much. I'm curious about any neo-Nazi film. Let's see what happens. So because of that, it seemed like a very interesting thing, because neo-Nazi in a foreign film was a lens that I've never even seen before. Like I've always seen Nazis in the lens of Americanos.
Yeah.
So to get a chance to see how their take on it was opportunity I was going to jump on, and it was a dark comedy. So something a little bit lighter to kind of offset. I don't know if you guys know this. My brother here, T, was spite picking me for the last 3 weeks. So trying to pick a little bit lighter content this week.
Itchy was the only spite pick, okay? Itchy was the only spite pick.
Okay, sure it was. Keep telling everybody that. That was a really heavy spite pick, though. That was so spiteful. So that's how I ended up on this film. And I'd say that initially, pretty happy with the pick. Pretty happy.
You ready for my description of the film? I've been thinking about the summary.
I feel like it's hard to describe.
It's simple. So an optimistic priest, a neo-Nazi Pakistani gentleman
Terrorist?
who robs banks, and
a
drunk overweight man who may rape women walk into a church.
How long do they last? Forever.
No, it's supposed to be the beginning of a joke. You're supposed to say they walk into a bar, but since they walked into the church, it is. So this is neo-Nazi, a priest,
and you forgot about the what would you call the woman? I feel like the woman was another character.
Recovering alcoholic who may or may not abort her child.
Is she a wench?
Nah, I'll say recovering alcoholic who may or may not abort her bastard child.
So end up being a pretty good setup, I'd feel. If you had to, why don't you do the description and then I'll hop in afterwards.
In so many words, Mads Mikkelsen is Ivan, a preacher who runs a parish that people come to the church as a work release. We actually pick up on when a neo-Nazi by the name of
Dutch. Okay, let me tell you this right now, guys. Dutch doesn't sound that awesome. There's nothing cool about Dutch. Dutch doesn't roll off the tongue. It's not aesthetically appealing to the ear. I'm not quite sure why, but that's how I feel about it. Isn't English based off of Dutch?
Yes and no. Like it's all those. God knows what the Queen's English goes.
This is one you gotta It's not everything everyone says doesn't sound very nice. Everything sounds very mean.
I mean, I think it's just our rude ass American look.
Yeah.
Adam, that's what his name was. Jeez, I had to fucking search that.
Literally, it's called Adam's apple. So how did you forget that? I didn't want to say it. I just wanted to say it.
Well, I'm 75% through this bottle of wine, so I'm just going to assume that's the reason. All right, run it back again. All right, so Ivan the parishioner, Adam the neo-Nazi. We come in on Adam the neo-Nazi coming here on work release. When he meets the priest lets him know that when people come here, they get a choice of what they do. that pretty much ends the term. When they're coming in, they walk past an apple tree that Ivan points out, and he says, hey, this apple tree is here, this, that, and the third. And he's talking about the apple tree, and it's a very important thing considering that the other protagonist, the neo-Nazi's name is Adam. So it's Adam's apples. Clearly, this is where it comes from. When he sits down with him to interview him, he asks him more or less, what do you want to do? Sort of that puts you in the work release program. He says to bake a pie. And he's like, an apple pie? And he's like, yeah, I'll bake an apple pie. So he's like, cool. So you want to bake apple pie? Then you're responsible for watching the apple tree and ensuring that the apple tree is safe and it produces good enough stuff so that when it finally comes through and produces things, we can go ahead and make an apple pie. Now, when it initially starts, he takes the apple off of that, and he says that the apple
amazing plot device.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never thought, I want to bake a pie would lead to this film for an hour.
just the way he went about it, it seemed like it was going to be so casual, and it ended up being so important. One of the major things he says when they first walk in and walk by the tree, he pulls an apple. He's like, you can't do anything with the apple right now. The apples are bitter, which is a very important point to say. So keep in mind, and I'm going to keep on referencing back to this apple tree. The apple tree, I think, is a representation there of Adam's position in the story. How he starts and how he ends are very important. And I think it's completely reflected by the apple tree. And when he starts off, the apples are bitter. They're not ready yet to be used for anything. It has to be cared after, and things will happen. We get introduced to two more characters. One of them is Khalid, who is a Pakistani man who's learning Dutch, who is in the work release program for robbing a particular gas station because he feels that those gas stations are robbing from his country, which is a fair thing to feel about a lot of gas stations.
And for the record, I believe he's actually Saudi Arabian. They just are racially slurring him as Paki.
Well, he's Saudi Arabian. I apologize 100%. If it is, but we're going to give into worse that it's not the worst thing that was said, but we'll get to that later. It gets much uglier than that. Then we're also introduced to another character by the name of Gunnar. He's an overweight man who Ivan, the parishioner, says is there for being an alcoholic, and alcoholic to the point that he was actually kidnapping and raping women, which is kind of a big, small deal. We'll just say that. So when Adam gets into his room and he settles in, first thing he does is he takes down a cross and he puts up a picture of good old Hitler up on the wall.
Yeah. I knew the moment they did that, I was like, this is foreign film comedy. That's such a subtle joke.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fucking hilarious.
He took down a cross
and puts Hitler up. Like, it is this beautiful pose, like some GQ
so Hitlerish, Hitlerish, Hitler at the max. Yeah,
that's great humor.
There's also another character, an older character by the name of Paul. You don't learn much about him, but you don't learn why he's there. But then you learn that he was extremely old in his 80s, and that he actually participated in camps during the Holocaust. And at first you think he was in the camp, and then you find out he was...
Just got two Nazis. We got a neo-Nazi and an actual Nazi in this film. Mm-hmm. Boom! Mm-hmm. I'm loving it.
All right. So as it goes along, I'll let you take it from here. I don't want to go too far.
Then it goes along into this film of the neo-Nazi Adam. Has in his mind he's gonna break the Ivan, the I guess the priest is priest the proper term.
Yeah,
he wants to break his
positive attitude
towards everything.
Like you tell this man that it's raining outside, he'll tell you that's great. The crops are getting rain. You punch this man in the face. He said, "I'm glad you were able to stretch your arm. I needed to breathe a little bit more in my nose."
No, literally, Ivan gets the shit beat out of him. He goes, "Well, thank you very much." He gets up and just walks away.
And he's like, "I'm running to the store. Do y'all want anything?" So what he practices, what I thought when I was watching this, was evangelical judo. So he
that's genius.
So that's good. So Adam sees the guy who's in there for being a drunk, constantly drinking, and he's like, this guy isn't not drinking. He's like, oh man, don't stop with the accusations. It's not fair to say something bad about that when clearly we're seeing this man drink. And at one point, after Adam beats the shit out of him, Ivan goes and he says, I'm going to run the store, and grabs more wine for this drunk. Or so it appears. And that I'm going to get into later.
Yeah, so I think that was like, it seems like Ivan is giving these people passes on some of their guilty pleasures because they're overall being better people, if that makes any sense. And I think a lot of it is his character was really interesting because he's actually the craziest character in the film, because he is
craziest or sanest, depending on how you look at it.
Depends on how you look at it. He takes the system of believing in a god and rationalizing through a god that everything is okay, and that's how he would just make things up in his mind to rationalize what was happening around to him. And so in this film,
it's very clear that he said, and I said it was important, he said he believes that there are no evil people. No matter how evil someone can act, that there are no evil people. That was a very important thing that he said.
Yeah, and that was echoed with, you start finding out these things that happen to Ivan in his life. He's pretty much cursed by despair. His mother dies when he's born. His wife dies because she kills herself. It's loosely
because their son has cerebral palsy.
His son has cerebral palsy, and he's like he like almost denies it, but like not denies it. Like, oh, he's fine. He's roaming around. It's like this dude is not moving at all in the wheelchair. He actually has a tumor. He's gonna die. Like he's defying. Like,
you forgot about the whole part that after his mother died, his father raped him and his sister.
Oh yes. So and then the sister who also got raped also died. So he's gone through all this stuff, and his character, as one of the townspeople described it, was that he's able to he has this like super rationalization.
Well,
he's able to rationalize everything to like be chipper about it, of like, this is all what he wants to do.
And
the main focus is that
who explains this all is this doctor that they go to, and I think that's important to say. Everybody visits this doctor, so Adam goes to this doctor because he ends up burning his hand, and he's talking about the doctor, and he just thinks the doctor's like full of shit. And the doctor's like, well, that man's been through a fucking lot. Like his mom died, his father raped him, his sister died, his you find out his wife died and all this shit. His wife committed suicide, and he's got such a fucked up, terrible past, and he just fucking eats this shit and just keeps on going. And one great line that the doctor said to Adam when he first is giving this information, he's like, you're best served by being told the truth. And I think that was a very important line. And you go along and you go through all this. So go ahead, continue.
And he ends up rationalizing everything, saying that it's the devil. The devil was just
testing him.
Is testing him.
So we go back to the apple tree. After the initial thing that goes on with the apple tree and you find out it's bitter, the next thing that happens with the apple tree is that a whole bunch of crows end up coming and start eating apples. So they try to get rid of the crows. And after the crows come and Adam puts up a scarecrow to try to get them away, worms start eating out the apples and fucking them all up. At the point where the crows came, Ivan sat down with Adam and was like, this is a test. This is the reason why it's happening. You came here just to build an apple pie and all these terrible things are happening. The devil is testing you. The devil is trying you. Like, we have to endure so you could get past that. And that's sort of what got his ass beat by whatchamacallit, but that's neither here nor there. Continue.
Adam. This character kind of develops this, again, you slowly start finding these things, and he almost seems like a little bit like it's a thin line between belief and insanity.
Yeah, is he delusional or not? Yeah.
Yeah, is he just a crazy person, or is he truly like a devout Christian? Like, there's a thin line between devout religiousness and just like being a fucking crazy person. Right. So Adam again continues to torment him, and he actually like beats the shit out of him like twice. Like eviscerates really this dude to the point where he beats the shit out of him so bad that his nose is then moved to the left for the rest of the film,
permanently crooked.
Which I thought that was a cool little prosthetic that they put on top. Where after he beat the shit out of him, his nose was crooked. Ivan for the rest of the film.
Doctor said he'd never be able to smell again. For God's sakes.
is like pretty dark stuff. But then I want to toss this back to you. There's a point in the film where Adam kind of starts transitioning.
Well, I think the transition point is a little bit when the question starts to become, is it just the over, like right when the point where you think maybe he's just a little too happy-go-lucky, maybe he's just too positive and everything like that, then he starts realizing things can have an effect. So what goes on is Adam realizes that like telling him the truth is sort of like messing with Ivan's mind. And you find Ivan actually has Ravashi syndrome, as they call it, where a soccer player ended up getting his feet cut off, but he was so amped up on adrenaline and just the way it thought it was, he went back out in the field and played with no feet. He played for a minute. And is
that real?
Yeah.
Did we Google this?
I didn't Google Ravashi. That's my fault. So, but I will say the other breaking point is that in Adam's room, there's a Bible that's sitting up on top of a counter. So every time the door closes, the picture of Hitler falls. / every morning, Khalid is up there.
Once in the morning, the picture of Hitler falls down.
Mm-hmm. It's initially started by Khalid, who works the bell every night to wake people up. The bell rings so hard that it actually makes the picture of Hitler fall down.
And you know what I thought of, right?
What?
Ring ding dong.
Terrible.
Ring ding ding dong.
So head ring it. But the picture of Hitler falls down, and I think that's very important. It keeps on falling down by some other thing. But there's a Bible by the door, and every time it falls to the book of Job. It even comes to a point that Adam picks it up and he drops the Bible and it opens again the book of Job. He just throws it down on the ground and opens the book of Job. So he then sits and he reads the book of Job. Now, you learn that the more you get Ivan to realize the truth or see the reality of things, he starts bleeding from the ears, and it sort of like aggravates his tumor. What Adam does in his effort to try to break Ivan is just says, yo, it's not the devil testing you. This is definitely God saying he doesn't like you. Did you not read the book of Job? Did you not see how fucking awful it was? Like, you're saying this book of Job. But it's weird because his interpretation of the book of Job was almost like God hates you. But for the record, I'm spiritual. I'm not a religious super Christian head or anything like that. I just gotta fucking throw that shit out there right
Captain
now.
Christianity here to save the day.
It is not me. You know fucking damn well that shit ain't me.
Hey, your mama, your daddy's a deacon, and your sister is a chaplain. You gotta.
They can all be what they are, but that ain't me. I understand, and I look at a whole bunch of different books, and whenever I'm approaching something that's based in religious text, I like to go ahead and look and understand it, just to see where the view is coming from. The idea of the story.
Are you familiar with the Book of Job?
Yeah, the Book of Job is that the man had everything going right for him. He was a good person. He did the right shit. He did the right thing. And then God was like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking test you. That's what I'm going to do is I'm going to fucking test you.
No, I think that maybe I miss again. I don't read the Bible as much as I used to.
But the devil is like,
what happens is
the devil's I bet you could break that. I bet you could break that man.
The devil's like, I can break any godly man you got, and he's like, no, you can't. I got strong ass soldiers.
See, I got Job beyond that shit, bro.
He's like, and the devil goes, what about Job? And he's like, he's fucking dope, yo. Like, he'll stand strong. And he's like, oh, word? So you'll let me do anything you want to him? And God goes, yes, because he believes in me, and I know he'll stand strong. So I do think that in the biblical thing, it's actually the devil doing all those terrible things. It's not God. Mm-hmm. But it makes sense that the neo-Nazi would maybe misread that.
Because he read it. He read it as God's inactivity is sort of like God saying, fuck you.
Yes, complacency of like, oh, you deserve this. The devil. Because again, the devil is tormenting Job, but the fact that God didn't step in, he's saying, fuck him, you know? Which is an interesting, the neo-Nazi bringing up this book of Job and saying that this is interpretation is just so cool because it's like, hey guys, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's all it is. Religion is just interpretation. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see someone who's not very religious, which a neo-Nazi I would think is not.
I wouldn't say this a neo-Nazi. They always interpret it as they want, but for him to look at it.
Read it and be like, oh, no. The guy, you're thinking of it all wrong. And I think that the reason why the book kept opening to that page is the theory is that Ivan himself has read that chapter so much that part of the book is like
it's
bent.
like stuff open. I didn't even think about that,
Yeah,
but
so
it's
like,
so ingrained in him.
that was
his
so it's like, so he's
justification.
read it so much
Mm-hmm.
that every Bible in this parish or in this church will open up to it easily because it's just bent in the back. That's what I thought.
It makes sense though. It reinforces his beliefs and
of the book of Job.
Yeah,
but needless to say, Adam says that to Ivan, and man,
so
Ivan wasn't feeling so hot.
No, and this sort of like puts a lot of shit into perspective, and Ivan ends up passing out, bleeding from the ear, and Adam's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna leave this motherfucker for dead." Now, when he goes to leave him for dead, a storm ends up coming. Storm blows the doors of the church open that they're in. Rain comes down. Lightning hits and destroys the second stove they have because...
Which just a quick question. Dude, scenes like that, like how do they... Is that practical? Like, this is 2003. What are they doing for effects for that entire storm scene? Because they have like lightning striking in buildings in front of people and stuff.
Well, the lightning was probably like, it might have been CGI or something like that, but like the rain and shit is like literally motherfuckers have rain machines and wind and shit like that.
Just like on top of them.
Yeah,
okay.
It's just blowing down on them. Again, I said I was going to re-reference the apple tree. So after the apple gets poisoned, during this lightning storm, the apple tree gets struck down. And it seems like all this stuff is aggravated by what is being happened and perpetrated to Ivan, the parishioner. Then the stove ends up getting destroyed and ends up getting like literally like a lightning bolt come in there. So one of the things that is very important to rewind is Ivan says, the crows are here, the fruit is ended up being bad, the stove is broken, the devil's really trying you. He doesn't want you to make this apple pie. He doesn't want you to make this
again, all these things stopping from the apple pie. Which, again, an amazing fucking, like, who eats an apple pie and thinks, I'm gonna write a film about this?
Right. So
I would never have thought an apple pie inspired this film.
It's very interesting. So essentially what ends up happening is that Adam breaks Ivan, and Ivan is brought to the hospital and he's wrapped up and they say he's going to die. Now, at first he was going to leave him for dead, but then when the tree got struck down with the lightning and everything started happening,
because
Adam
got his head shook. Like, he saw the entire thing just like get struck, burn to a blaze, and then it has this little moment of something swishes in his brain, something little, something small.
Yeah, and he's even confronted by, well, so rewind just a little bit. Somewhere along the line, his old Nazi buddies come to see him, and one of them gives him a gun because he's threatening to shoot all the crows that's in the tree. When he threatens to shoot the crows in the tree, Khalid, the Saudi Arabian gentleman, pulls out a gun. He said, we could use guns, and shoots every crow down with excellent fucking precision and kills all the motherfucking crows in the tree.
And for the record, I feel like I don't want to get fact checked. So if that dude's not Saudi Arabian, my bad. And if Job was tempted by God and not the devil, doubly my bad.
So
just don't fact check me, guys. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
That shocks him, and when they're going ahead and they find out that all of the apples are going bad from the worms that are in it, they go and they have to like pick out good apples, and Khalid and Adam are out there picking the apples, and his neo-Nazi buddies pull up. And this is such a fucking great scene. So his neo-Nazi buddies, who's already been expressed, the dude who's running him now,
shit, I forgot about this
is so low end. So they're like, oh, so you're just out, what are you out here doing? He's like, I'm getting apples. Oh, so you're just gonna out here chill with whatever the Danish word is for nigger. And I'm just being very clear, I didn't know there was a Danish word for this, but
nigger. They never said that shit.
And I was like,
I don't know what it is.
I'm reminded by, side note, I recently watched The Five Bloods by Spike Lee, and they said that when people were there during the Vietnam War, that white GIs taught people there the word for nigger in Vietnamese. So just to let you know, people be going out there to make sure that people know that we're niggers, and they want to call them niggers in whatever language, and they teach them that. And if it sounds awful to hear that, it's because it's awful truth. It's an awful sad truth.
Awfully true. It's awfully true.
I rewind back to, I didn't know there was a Dutch N-word, and there was one, and I don't even think it starts with an N, but he just calls this Saudi Arabian dude just the N-word over and over again. And at one point, Saudi Arabians was like, "Yo, fuck you guys." Khalid's like, "Fuck you, fuck you." And this was a smaller dude, a leaner dude, and a big dude. And the smaller dude, who's kind of like leader's like, "I don't know, fuck, we're just gonna fuck up this little Saudi dude." And Saudi dude's like, "Word, all right." And he just shoots the big dude in the knee, like just without hesitation. And he was like, no, "Why did you shoot him?" I was like, "What? I'm just gonna let him come up and run up on me? Fuck that." And then the other dude was like, "Oh, fuck that,
bro.
We're gonna come back
from the Dutch.
We're gonna fuck you
Dutch
up,
shit, bro. Middle East shit, bro. Fucking, let's go. Hey, I don't know where you from, bro. I'm from some real shit, bro."
So then they flex on him, Khalid, one more time, and the little dude's, "Oh, the fuck, we're gonna fucking kill you," and then he just shoots the small dude in the shoulder. He's like, "Oh, the fuck you gonna do that?" And he shoots the other dude, and he's like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on?" He's like, "What the fuck?
What is going on?" They were so guys.
And they try to run away, and they shot him again.
Nazis,
just shoot.
Just shoot them. The neo-Nazis are not ready to get shot. They're not ready for real shit. They want to do all this extra shit, but they ain't ready for some real shit. They ain't ready to die.
Hey, shoot first, ask questions last. That's how most of these so-called gangsters pass.
Hey, shoot first, ask questions last.
That's how most of these so-called gangsters pass. That aside,
Waka flocka flame.
So anyway, let's go with that. So fast forward again. So he goes ahead and he helps Ivan go to a hospital, right? So we're fast forwarding back to after he makes him bleed from the ears, and he sees the apple tree shot down by the lightning bolt, and it all seems almost kind of divine at this point. So this question is are these things happening in a divine sense, or is it just happenstance? So Ivan ends up getting told by the doctor that he's only got a few more days to live, maybe a week or two. He goes back to the Parisian, and he's basically given up. Everybody's trying to talk to him. Adam's trying to talk to him. He don't give a shit. Gunnar, the alcoholic, is trying to talk to him. Khalid's trying to talk to him. He don't give a shit. So the first thing that happens... Well, go ahead and introduce the woman that came in.
So this woman ends up at this church, and I'm not really sure how she drifted over here, but essentially her whole ethos.
I think she was just looking for a church. She was just looking for a church, and she was looking for parishioners' comments.
Yeah, and she is a pregnant woman who went to Indonesia for something. I don't know what it was, but essentially got knocked up by some dude while she was in Indonesia. But she is an alcoholic. She's an alcoholic. So she didn't know she was pregnant, and she was still drinking pretty aggressively. So in probably the first 3 months of this child's life, she was consuming pretty heavily. She then joins Alcohol Anonymous for whatever X amount of months or whatever, and then ends up going to this church. And Ivan convinces her of like all this good stuff because he talks about Ivan's son who has cerebral palsy and he's dancing around. Don't be worried. Like, you drank for the first 3 months, you'll be fine. This girl finds this dude. And when I say like Ivan's son is like kaputs, like this dude is
severe
kaputs.
cerebral palsy. Every time, every time he was like, "Oh, Christoph, just go back upstairs." Yeah. That would be Gunnar running behind him to go ahead and push the chair.
Just like pushing him around. Like, so she finds out that the son, Ivan's son, is actually not doing so hot. So then she hits this spiraling depression. She starts drinking again, which I'm not sure how pregnant she is when she's drinking. Could you, if you had to guess, like how many months?
I would say, luckily, she probably was about. How long would it take Adam's hair to grow back is the question. So I'd say
that's at least like a good 3 months. That's at least a good 3 months.
We'll say 6 months. We'll say she was 6 months pregnant.
Yeah, so she had to be 6 months pregnant, and she just goes on a bender.
Yeah. We'll say maybe 5
So this
months,
is what that character looks like. That's what that character looks like. Mm-hmm. So she ends up at this church with these people as part of this like misfit culture, and she starts drinking pretty heavily on and off and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's this character. So now go back to
fast forward.
Ivan.
So when Ivan comes back, and Ivan seems to give up. Like, it seems that all his positive thinking and lifestyle is kind of thrown in the trash, and he's just sort of like giving up, and he's almost ready to die with this volleyball-sized tumor in his head and shit's not going well, and Adam's broken him and almost broken his faith. In these moments, Gunnar goes back to alcoholism, and that's why I question if maybe he wasn't even drinking alcohol like that. Maybe he was getting alcoholic free wine or low whatever wine. I think he might have,
or just literally like sparkling
cider or
soda,
something like that, to just have him in there because it looked like he was heavily drinking. But then,
because no one ever drank that. Even Adam never drank it. No one ever drank what he was sipping on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then,
so it was like maybe he was just really drinking fucking juice.
Right. And maybe it wasn't really that crazy, because when Ivan comes back and Ivan's given up, then he really drinks. And, part of it is you find out that the reason why he got into drinking is he used to be a really good tennis player, but got a really bad call and it fucked up his whole career. And he's walking around, he's given up, he's walking around in his tennis outfit.
Well,
Adam
sees him. Wait on a second. They got the actual alcohol from the gas station.
No. He was already drunk.
Oh, he was already drunk?
He was already drunk for the gas station.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So Gunnar was super drunk.
Oh, shit.
Part, but in a tennis outfit, sort of like reliving these days and want to get back to what it is. And the woman is in the house, but you can't find her. And Adam's like, sees Gunnar, is like, where's the woman? It's like, oh, she already left. She had too much to drink. So like, she left? I don't know what it is. And he sort of like, Gunnar starts walking towards his room. He's like, yo, like, what's in your room? He's like, oh, no, it's fine. I'm going to be done for the night. And he's like, no, fuck it. I want to see your room.
Yeah.
So Adam just pushes
that shit was so creepy.
And old girl is tied up with a sack on her head, super drunk, over inebriated, ready to get the big R.
We ain't talking like I had too many drinks freshman or sophomore year and I passed out on someone's bed that I shouldn't have passed out on.
She was tied up.
She was fucking like yoked up pig style with the brown like fucking potato
burlap
sack
over her head, ready.
Yeah, and my man Gunther was like, so you're gonna stay or you're gonna leave? Like,
so it is, and part of it is like it's awful because he's really one of those characters. It doesn't seem like he should be the worst character, but some ways he's absolute awful.
Yeah, he was pretty bad. I mean, they talked about him like raping girls in the beginning, but they kind of didn't like. I guess because he was kind of like so loafy. He was kind of like
aloof.
You're aloof. Yeah, he was kind of like very aloof. So you're like, this guy's not that bad.
Nah, he's super rapist, super duper rapist.
That dude's definitely.
So he was getting ready to he tied her up and he's getting ready to go right to Rape City, pay the toll to go in there. And Adam's like, no, fuck it, come with me. And they see Khalid and he's getting ready to run up to one of the gas stations and rob the shit out of it. And instead of letting him go by himself, they're like, fuck it, we'll go with you. And I'm going to bring Gunnar with me. So I don't leave Gunnar here to be Rape City. And
yeah, Gunnar was he was bugging, bro.
Yeah. They go there
I can take this scene.
Good.
So they end up going to rob a gas station, which becomes this little like, this is where it becomes like this little dark comedy thing. Cause it's like,
there's dark comedy in a couple other places, but
you have Khalid who's like very headstrong trying to just rob him, and then you have Adam like, yo, chill, like let's wait for a second, and then Gunther's just like following behind. So they end up going to the gas station. Adam goes in first, which again, this shows like intentional, weirdly like weird. This intentional change.
Yeah,
he's like, oh no, let me go in first, and what he does is he gets to the gas station and he goes, yo, run. And they're like, what? And he pulls the gun out. He's like, fucking run. Just run.
Everybody run.
So he like clears out the whole gas station. And then Khalid and Gunther comes in because Khalid has been on a shooting. By the way, by this point in the movie, Khalid has shot, like 4 people?
Easily.
Yeah, easily like 4 people. Easily. So he's trying to not get people hurt. So they end up robbing the liquor store. And they clear out things. They grab a whole bunch of stuff. And there's someone in the bathroom. So Adam shoots the door, but he shoots it like at the top angle, again, intentionally trying not to hurt anybody. And then Khalid shoots the full shotgun round into the door.
Right.
Like the full shotgun round was like, and they leave, but everybody leaves again. And then Adam, right before he goes out, he opens up the door. He's like, yo, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. It's like, and he leaves. So
he steals the toaster oven.
Oh, and they steal the toaster oven because who doesn't want taquitos, right? Like, come on.
Church.
So this ends up being this like I think that was actually probably one of the funnier scenes. Would you?
Yeah, I'll say the funnier scenes.
That whole interaction was just like it was like this odd fucking group robbing a fucking gas station. It was so strange. So that all happens, and they go back to the church, and then I'll pass it back to you.
Okay, they go back to the church, and they have everything that's going on, and is it the next day that all the neo-Nazi buddies come back up, and they're looking for Khalid because Khalid popped all of them, and they were like, "Yo, we're just here for Khalid. We're gonna
he
fuck
was
him
just
up."
like, shoot first, ask questions last.
And Khalid was like, "Yo, I'll pop all these motherfuckers. I don't give a shit." And Adam's like, "Yo, go to the fucking church. Go inside." And he goes in there, and Adam's trying to talk them down. And while he's trying to talk them down, Priest comes back out, and Ivan's like, "Yo, all this yelling, all this commotion, I'm going to die in a couple of days. Can y'all just give me some peace?" And he's like, "Oh, we just want this." He was like, "Well, maybe we could. I don't give a shit anymore. Just you can resolve this shit. You just don't gotta be so loud." So he walks up to this pack of maybe like 10 neo-Nazis and starts just taking shit out of their hands. Takes a bat out of one of their hands, a chain out of one of their hands, knives out of the shit. Like, solve this shit. Just be quiet about this shit. We don't need all this loud shit. And then he goes up to the little short head guy that was there before they got popped a couple times with Khalid and is trying to take his gun. And while he's trying to take his gun, he gets popped in the fucking head. Ivan gets popped in the fucking head. And blood gets blown over like the slimmer Nazi guy. And everybody's looking. The Nazis like, "Fuck it, let's just get out of here." And Adam is like fucking shocked. Now, when he got popped, they showed like his eye got blown out. Part of his brain got, that motherfucker got fucking murked. Or so I thought. And they take him to the hospital. And the doctor said he got half Kennedy'd.
That was a good quote.
Half Kennedy.
Good, clever. Clever. So very clever.
Half Kennedy'd, and
Ivan survives.
No, Ivan is supposed to die. They say Ivan is gonna die. So what ends up happening now is that Adam goes back and he's trying to like convince everybody to like, try to cheer the preacher up and trying to get him back in the spirit of things because he may die soon. And he was like, Adam has this moment where he's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna make this apple pie." And he goes to get the apples he collected, and all the apples are gone because the lady with the pregnant lady ate all the shits and gave some of the apple to the Kristoff kid, and all the apples are gone. And he's like, "Fuck it, I can't make this fucking apple pie." I went and got this motherfucking toaster oven, blase, blase, blah. All this shit happens, and Gunnar comes, and you see that he's like been stealing shit here and there, and he has one apple. So Adam goes to the effort of
he's a thief. Gunnar is a huge thief.
Oh yeah, Gunnar's a huge thief. He goes to the effort of making one small like single serving pie, like maybe 2 serving. It's a small ass pie, like a tiny ass pie, like 50-cent 2 zebra cake size pie. That's the best way I could fucking think of describing it. Is that
actually
fair?
Yeah, it's literally 2 zebra cakes stacked on top of each other. That's how big that pie was. Great visual.
Yeah.
Just
and he makes it stolen sort of thing. So he goes and brings it to the hospital, and when he comes into the room, Ivan isn't there. And he goes to the doctor like, "What the fuck is Ivan?" He's like, and it seems like the doctor's packing shit up because he's just had it. He's done with this shit. And he's like, just gonna get up from the bed and eat a fucking cheeseburger. I can even imagine fucking doing that. Just fucking do that. Come to find out, Ivan woke up out of the bed, went down, and is chilling out on the patio. They said he was gonna die in hours. And he didn't die. What actually happened is that when he got shot in the head, it blew the volleyball-sized tumor out of his head, and he survived. One less
That's
eye,
why it looks so gory. This is
yeah.
the tumor. This is a tumor on the ground.
Exactly. It wasn't brain. It was tumor.
Oh, by the way, we've done this again where the foreign film, we just end up describing it for like 45 minutes.
I mean, it's a lot. I guess I'm gonna cut that out.
It's funny. It's
so
like the horror films were like really like pointed to the point, like, and the foreign films were like, "Oh, let's completely just give you guys like all these footnotes as we describe the film."
Yeah, maybe we need it.
Which surprisingly, the last like 15 minutes of the film, we like deep dived. I was surprised we deep dived as heavy as we did, but it was a pretty impactful moment because then they have this beautiful scene where they eat the pie together. He cuts it in half, they eat it. Again, it's these two zebra cake sized pies. And then it flash forwards. And the movie
Adam
ends
has hair.
where
He's not a skinhead anymore.
Adam has hair. He's not a skinhead anymore.
He's wearing the sweater vest,
the fucking
polo
sweater vest and everything.
shorts, Birkenstock collection.
And he has become Ivan's true assistant. With Ivan had this fucking crazy ass fucking scar on the left side of his face. And they pick up. There was like two scenes. Is they wish off Gunther and the pregnant woman with, I guess, the non-pregnant woman now with the child to Indonesia.
To Indonesia. One, so the child can look more like what he is. Two, because there's a good tennis scene out in Indonesia. And it's crazy because she actually has a child and the child has Down syndrome. And they've accepted
the kid
that.
does.
That was what exactly she said. She couldn't go through with it. Like she's accepted it, and they accepted it, had it, and Gunner's there for her, which is weird. So hopefully he's not raping nobody no more.
I hope not. And then two new convicts show up, and these two convicts essentially just treat Ivan very poorly. But Adam's like,
very similar how Adam did it.
Yeah, and that kind of I think the last scene is they're driving in the car. And they play the music, which we didn't mention this at all. It was like a small thing. Is that every time they're in the car, every time Adam and Ivan were in the car, Ivan would go to play music, and then Adam would turn it off like 5 seconds.
It was a song called "How Deep Is Your Love" by Take That. I actually did the fucking research this time for the song.
It's a good track. And then at the end, the ending scene is Adam vibing out. He's just like straight like fucking warehouse partying to this fucking track, just really just getting into it, you know. So
and then like Adam finally fucking sings along to the hook, and he fucking gets it. He finally gets the song. He gets why Ivan is. He's got his hair going to the center.
It was a so this was like a
redemption.
This was a fun one. Sorry. This was a pretty good redemption film, and we fell into that hole where we just started describing it for like 30 minutes.
My bad.
Because no, it's because that ending was there's a lot of like heavy content, like especially when we brought up the Job thing. There's just like so much heavy content in this ending that I wanted. You're right, I wanted to do it justice, but we are getting close to the end here, so I got to start pulling up some questions. So this technically, you were by the way, guys, that's all you get. We're fucking done. Technically, it's a comedy. What was your biggest laugh? What was your biggest laugh?
Biggest laugh was perhaps when he shot when Khalid shot the neo-Nazis and he did that shit without a second fucking guess. He just popped the dude like usually when you see a whole bunch of Nazis are about to beat up an indiscriminate minority, it's usually a dark scene. Them motherfuckers try to roll up and he popped that big motherfucker in the leg so quick and he was like, oh, I was like, yes, that's the way it's supposed to be, and it was fucking hilarious. It's supposed to be. I laughed audibly to that, so yes.
Do you feel the realistic change of heart of Adam? Do you?
Yes,
do you truly believe it?
Because I think at the end of the day, the movie actually may have been a actual religious.
You said coming of
movie.
age,
like an actual religious film, an actual like divine film, because to bring Ivan back to faith and belief and everything like that, everything that happened was way too extreme. There was some power greater than them that was activating all that stuff. So I think when he saw that stuff that was bigger than what Ivan should not have survived getting shot in the head like he did, but he did. And I think
it's like a miracle. It's like the miracle side of it,
100%.
Okay, here's the last third and interesting question. Why can Americans not do dark comedy?
Americans do dark comedy.
Why are we so...
do we
though?
Yeah, but
do we though?
It's just different.
Do we though?
Yeah, we do dark comedy. It's just not the same. Like I think one thing I learned, Stephen Fry, I think it was that said it. I'm probably misquoting. Someone said that the difference between American comedy and like European comedy is that Americans make fun of other people. European and British comedy make fun of themselves. And that's what makes a dark comedy to have a little bit more thing, because you have to depreciate yourself in that. You get what I'm saying?
Man, come on, man. Come on.
What?
We're really bad at it. We're really bad at dark comedy.
We're bad. We're bad, but there's some that we have, and I just don't think.
No, dude, we don't have nothing. for whatever reason, and maybe it's the perspective that because I'm experienced in the cultures, it feels different. I just feel like American dark comedy, like we don't really have. I think that what it is that this stuff is so edgy. Like there's a lot of heavy topics that this film talked about. You've got rape, you've got Nazis, you've got religion, you've got
Burn After Reading. That was a good one. You never seen Burn After Reading though.
No, I have,
oh, you know what? Fuck that. Fargo's fucking. And good. I'll stop there. Fargo's real good. And I think Fargo.
You know the problem with Fargo is that like I guess it is a dark comedy.
It definitely Fargo is 120% a black comedy.
You're right. I think I accidentally put Fargo in
Doctor Strangelove. That's another one. American Beauty.
I've never seen that one, but you're just googling things right now. You're looking down. I can see you now. We're recording video. You're just looking down. You're just googling things.
No, Fargo's my shit. Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski isn't really dark comedy like this, man.
Yeah, like, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, 120%.
No, they're not like. They're not.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas isn't dark comedy.
No, I don't like the way that they're like. I feel like when I watch like Adam's Apple, I come out of it with a lot of laughs, with a lot of introspection.
Little Miss Sunshine, and you know what? Sometimes, come on, what's his name? I
don't think we're that good at him, man.
We're not the greatest at it. I think the British really do the best.
Yeah, the British do the best, but it's like, and I don't know if it's because I'm sorry, I'm going on a little bit tangent. I think sometimes in our day and age, we're a little afraid of satire. Like again, it's that whole like external versus internal. We do all this comedy that's external, but in reality, like when you're doing dark comedies, they have to be incredibly internal because I feel like they have to evoke emotions that way.
Again, I go back to the same statement. Like Americans have to make fun of somebody else. Other cultures know how to make fun of themselves. And the true way to run into dark comedy is to be able to make fun of yourself.
You said, I would say of that list you've given me, I would say Fargo is the most accurate because even the Fargo TV series, I would say is pretty. It's still pretty funny.
Fargo is 100% that I'm a lean into Fargo.
The TV and even the TV, I was surprised with how good the TV series was. They kept the comedy like very strong. So, okay, I'll give you Fargo, but I've seen I guess I've just seen such a wider range of like dark comedies overseas, where they talk about like a range of topics.
But again, I say Americans do not like being able to make fun of themselves. We do not like seeing ourselves be the butt of jokes. Other countries can embrace that. See Monty Python and all that shit. You get what I'm saying? Like that's the living, breathing example thereof.
That'll be something I want to look up afterwards. Like, these were the dark comedy because people are like Tarantino films, but I'm like, they're not like dark.
Some of them are.
They're like there's comedic moments in them, but they're not like
4 Rooms. You haven't seen 4 Rooms. It's only a quarter Tarantino, but 4 Rooms is great. You've never seen 4 Rooms?
No, I haven't seen 4 Rooms, which is surprising because I feel like
It's almost an anthology.
Sorry. What's your rating for the film?
Rating for the film.
Completely off topic.
Yeah. We're rating for the film.
I'm interested in this one. I'm very curious where you land.
It's a strong 2. It's a strong 2. If it wasn't for such a strong language barrier.
That language does not sound interesting at all. Dutch sounds so fucking lame.
Yeah, I'm not saying it because I'm not trying to create any haters, but it's a strong 2. Strong 2. I watched it again. I think in some scenarios, maybe a 2.3.
I think okay. So I landed on a low 2. But I almost gave it a 1. But then there's just like that like last 20-30 minutes again peaked it up past the one category because they started doing some really interesting things with like the neo-Nazi stares at the ground and tosses the Bible down like 10 times and I'm like that's fucking hilarious. Yeah. That's fucking hilarious. It's so funny.
The shots weren't crazy. The music wasn't that wild. Like I say, a low 2 is understandable. Like
it's low 2, yeah. You're right. The cinematography wasn't like fucking groundbreaking.
No,
but the actors that are in are solid. Ivan himself is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I see, like seeing him in his native tongue, dope.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I give it like it's a low 2. It almost hit 1, but I'm gonna give it a low 2 because I really like the message and I like the last 30 minutes. It's nice. It makes you feel. It's a dark comedy because at the end of it, you do feel good. You feel good at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it feels very good. So yeah, low 2 for this. What you got for me for questions?
Questions? It's not that crazy. Just what was your favorite? What was your favorite scene from there? What was your favorite scene where you couldn't tell if it was divine or not?
I don't know why that the scene that popped up in my mind. I don't know why. I definitely thought for a moment that this dude with cerebral palsy was gonna get up and start dancing around.
I thought he was
like
gonna
a
do
brief
something.
moment.
I ain't gonna front.
I thought for a brief moment, but that dude was like, nah.
Super terrible. Yeah.
So that's probably my favorite. Is they almost had me convinced that Ivan's belief had me convinced that this kid was gonna like start tap dancing.
But that's amazing how positive his positivity was. How strong his belief is. And you know what I think he said that is that he was sitting there and Christoph moved his leg just a little bit or moved his hand a little bit. And I think that he took that as that great. You get what I'm saying? So I always respect his positivity.
Oh, he's a great dad. He's a great fucking dad.
Oh yeah.
Great
like for you to talk to your
shout out to Father's Day. Shout out to Father's Day. He's a fucking great dad.
Number 2. I mean, I don't even know if this is a number 2. This is just what is your greatest metaphor or foreshadowing. I didn't think this one was gonna be a hard one, but apparently it is.
I think the apple tree. I think what was really good about the apple tree is that they kept attacking it from different angles and kept it interesting.
Right.
They made this like it's literally called Adam's apple. So you're like expecting this tree to be something, and they lived up to expectation, which I think is pretty tough. Like that's tough to be like, hey, this movie's about apples,
and it's about this apple tree. Yeah,
and to keep the tree very interesting, the whole film was surprising, and a lot of it had to do is because they did weird things, like the first thing, like you said, was like, oh, this is too bitter, don't drink it. Number 2 was the crows, which they tried to stop the crows several ways, and the best way to stop the crows was the fucking gun, like they would have never expected that.
Right.
And the maggots was a big thing. And then even when the tree got struck down by lightning, they're still trying to gather the best apples, like
trying to make the best of it.
Yeah,
and it's
again,
still made.
My
presume was a
favorite part
great
is that I
pie.
would have never thought like really was he making an apple pie and he's like, started writing the film, like was he just eating apple pie?
Might have.
I have to assume that apple pie was like what inspired this.
Fair.
I see what you're doing right now. I see what you're doing right now. I can see you now.
It's 2:48 in the morning here. I'm subject to more tiredness than you, but that's besides the point.
That's true. It's very true.
So
yeah, that's all the questions you had. I'm surprised you didn't have more questions.
Nah,
for this film.
I don't know if there was anything else you felt inspired for. It's fine, but it was, the movie was as metaphorical as it was. It was very straightforward, and I respect it for what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like I respect it for just kind of going.
I'm glad we didn't. It was this film or Israeli film, and the Israeli film was just like a little bit more serious, and I opted to this because it was a comedy. So I'm curious. Maybe we'll watch the Israeli film next week, and we'll see. Like, I'm curious what that film was, because this was like a fucking last ditch.
Right, it wasn't bad
film.
But
yeah,
ready for the connection between the two films? A passing of the torch. So Ivan passed it on to Adam, and he ended up growing with that, and the passing of the torch.
That's good.
Jerry
That's
Lynn,
good. I was just going with religion.
No.
I was going with Christianity.
Jerry Lynn and Jada Pinkett. Jerry Lynn or Jada Pinkett
like
passed it on. She got that pass on. It was a mantle that passed on. Whether they were ready to accept it or not, whether they believed in it or not, they ended up embracing it, and
it was for them. Yeah, whether they knew it or not, it was for them. That's like, whether they knew it or not, it was for them. And the film was about them finding out, realizing that, and then they acting on that realization.
Exactly,
which is powerful. Like that is wow. That's a good one.
Yep,
way better than what I had. I was like, Jesus?
No, I had it.
Jesus and the Latter-day Saints? What you got?
I saw it and it worked out. That's exactly what I had in my head. So
I like that. I like that one. I like that. That was dope. That was dope. All right. So yeah, it's a fistful of dollars. What is it? A fistful of dollars, a few more dollars. Which, by the way, why is there not more like hip hop mixtapes named after this shit? This shit is cold, bro.
Good, the bad, the
a
ugly.
Fistful of dollars, a few more dollars more, like, and then a good, the bad, the ugly.
I haven't seen them in a minute.
Again, these are Italian films, but they were distributed. The English version was distributed in United States. You know what I mean? Because you know what's also crazy? It's 1964, 1965, 1966. You know how much fucking filming they're doing to put out 3 films back to back?
They might have just filmed them all at the same time. Think about the Matrix Revolutions.
They were filming 1960 to 1963.
No,
all right. Are we recording again? Because that was a good comment.
No, I've been
edit that back in. Edit that back in at some point.
Got you. So my selection for you is going to be Suspiria by Dario Argento. It's a giallo film. I want you to keep in mind the time that this came out. It was 1977, I want to say. And it is the generation of giallo films. It is a very artistic view. It's really into music and views. So I need for you to understand that this is about the art. And all his films are like that. And giallo films are very niche thing. But you like them because they're artsy.
Well, I mean, you're going to play an old film. I think I'm going to do an older film.
Go ahead.
If we're going to go to Italy, guys. Sun sets on the east. Or is it the west? The man looks into the mirror. Does he know himself? That's right, folks. We're going to the west. Spaghetti westerns. And there's only one trilogy that matters in Italy. The Man with No Name. We're going to start from the beginning. Here. Fistful of Dollars, the original film from the Man with No Name trilogy. For those who don't know, it's Fistful of Dollars. I'd never seen the second film for a few dollars more. And then The Good, Bad, and Ugly. Actually, I haven't really sat down and watched any of these 3. I think I've seen them.
Shit out of The Good, Bad, and Ugly. It's a fucking great film.
I think I've seen The Good, Bad, and Ugly in like moments. I don't think I've ever sat down and watched it. And it is one of those microcosms of Italian cinema, though it has this like famous American actor, and it is like pure Italian cinema. So I'm pretty pumped up for us to do a little Italy trip here. Let's do this.
You know, there's a Japanese spaghetti western.
I feel like
Tarantino was like co-produced on it. It's fucking great.
We just got to add it to the list, man. Add it to the list. That's what it is. But this is a great one because again, this is 1964. This film came out, so it'll be fun to see. I think like the impact it has on films 40 years from later.
Well,
like,
but you're talking about 60s. That you're talking about a time where cowboy films and all these western films were the norm. You get what I'm saying? That was the thing.
But it's just cold. The name of the trilogy again is The Man with No Name. That's just fucking cold, bro.
Clint Eastwood. You're not saying cold. Who the main character is. It's definitely Clint Eastwood.
Well, so. I was gonna save it. I got a lot to talk about him. We was gonna save it, but it's just can't wait for this. So we're gonna start from the very beginning again. Fistful of Dollars. Hopefully, we'll take a few trips to Italy, and every time we go, we're going to spaghetti westerns. You like it with gravy or extra gravy? Probably a little bit of both.
We got giallo and spaghetti western. Two great Italian genres. This has been Brothers Sip and Talk Shit. My shit is empty. I cleaned the bottle.
I've got a 1.5 still here. I kind of slowed down there.
Nah, I cleaned the bottle.
Really got into the description there.
I got to issue with the side view of the bottle, so I don't that shit. Empty.
That shit is dead. That shit is fucking dead, bro. For the blood of the Christ. All right, he said, Espírito Santos.
That shit is sitting all in the key right now. That shit is with Jada Pinkett right now.
Peace, love, prosperity, always.
Peace,
and love and happiness. And I'm gonna leave you with one last open question for the night, and I want you to open it honestly. What did I just say? Open it honestly. What is the words I just used?
So we'll just see where it goes.
You edit that out. Keep it. I don't know. That shit was
terrible.
Open it honestly. Wait, what?
Terrible.
I think we're coming up in an interesting time in society. but it's also a very tough time. For someone who, how should I say this? For someone who feels survivor guilt, what would you tell them?
Survivor guilt? You survived for a reason. Exploit it. That's all it is. You're here for a reason. Make the most out of it,
Theme
bro.
of the neo-Nazi. The reason why I brought that was the theme of the neo-Nazis, by the way.
Fuck the Nazis. You or otherwise.
Fuck them. Fuck them all. Fuck them all.
Closing statements was some shit a month ago. You've been like, I'm kind of surprised.
Still happening. Firecrackers and me saying the R word at work. Racism. I've never said the word racism at work so openly and felt so great saying it.
I'll tell you the one thing is obvious if motherfuckers ever see this video is the lack of shape up.
Bro, who needs it, bro? All natural.
Bro.
All natural shit, bro.
Fuck that.
Let me get
My
that.
barber opened up for fucking appointment only. I may be in there tomorrow morning. I hope to God my appointment go through. It's just gonna
All
be
natural,
me,
bro.
me
All
and
natural
her
shit, bro.
getting cut.
All natural. Forget that.
That's cool. It'd be all natural, except I just need that line. I just need that
He said
line.
my barber been closed. I'm like, bruh, I know so many barbers open. Why you closed? He's like, bruh, I don't need no. I'm like, gangsta shit. Gangsta shit.
I'll take it. All right, so peace, love, and nappiness. Make it happen.
Always.
Much love out here. Black Lives Matter. If you don't believe us,
PLP.
Make it happen. All right, peace out.
Always.